Should you spend $2,000 a foot on a condo in Toronto? Should you buy a condo in Toronto for $2,000 a foot? Okay, friends, Yossi Kaplan here, Toronto Realtor and mortgage agent broker. And today I want to talk to you about some new condos coming out at $2,000 a foot. That means 1,000 square feet, $2 million. 2,000 square feet, $4 million. 500 square feet, $1 million. Oh my God, 500 square feet, $1 million. Okay, how does that work? So, King West, BIG, Bjork Ingles, King West by West Bank, just across from Fashion House, has launched the penthouses, and they're about $2,000 a foot. There's almost nowhere in town that you can get anything for $2,000 a foot. That's kind of high. Now, mind you, that's Canadian dollars, but still very, very high for Canada. But maybe not if you're coming from outside of Canada with US dollars. Then you get 35% discount. So you're really looking at about $1,300 US a foot. Not that bad if you have US dollars. But we Canadians, we don't have US dollars. We have Canadian dollars, and that's what we pay with. So do you ask yourself, first of all, you should ask yourself, does most of the money for these super expensive condos come from outside of Canada? Probably does. I can't track it. I don't have the tools to do it, but I imagine that a lot of this money comes from import-export businesses, construction, factories, whatever, outside of Canada, and probably funneled into Canadians, Canadian residents that come in and invest their money. You can imagine a lot of money from Hong Kong is finding its way to projects like BIG King West and others. And you can pretty much tell just by looking at the lines at the sales centers who's coming to buy. And clearly, first, maybe second, but all from out of the country, just like me. Well, Canada is a place of immigrants, and it's very interesting because it's really good for Canada on one end, but on the other, it causes prices to rise because us immigrants come from other countries. If you don't have any money, you can't really come to Canada. I mean, there's a refugee program, all that, but most people come to Canada, they have to prove that they have the money. So if they have the money, it's usually in US dollars because the world runs in US dollars, not on Canadian dollars. And I got $1 US, I got $1.35 or $1.30 Canadian, whatever it is. So I get a discount in a way. So should you buy this $2,000 a foot condo? Well, here's the thing. Any condo, any property before, the other day one of my colleagues posted this flyer of a house. It was a Wilson from the 60s, gorgeous house, beautiful architecture. It was $16,500, maybe 50 years ago. These houses now are probably $2 million, $3 million, so the house price went up 20 times or whatever it is over this 50 years. So yeah, prices go up because the inflation is built into the economy, what I call the rigged economy. Everything goes up all the time. Now think about it. Why would the price of the popsicle will go up all the time? What do I got in my pocket? I got two toonies. Somebody told me this crazy story that they know someone who was afraid that the house would burn. So they're keeping bags of toonies in case there's a fire and they have money left. You got to throw some jokes in. But somebody did tell me this week, and I can't remember. Anyway, but $2,000 a foot. You got to watch out for that because obviously that's peak of the market, and it's the highest price ever asked for a condo in Toronto. Nonetheless, their house was $16,500 from 50 years ago is worth, $2 or $3 million today. Did they do a good deal or not? Well, it really depends on how much they appreciate. Because if they could have invested that $16,500 in something else, but usually real estate does really, really well. That's why 90% of all real estate millionaires in the world, they own real estate. And they're not making millions of dollars. They're just people like you and me. They make normal salary. They have normal jobs, lives, families, whatever. But they just buy a condo and let it sit, and then buy another condo and let it sit. Then buy another condo and let it sit. And that's the magic of investing in real estate. You got to think long term. The market went up so fast the last few years, so fast, maybe 80%. 4 years, some ridiculous increase in prices. As a result. The rents went up so fast, and now we're catching up. That means the prices are starting to move up, but not that fast. So we can absorb all that stuff. But now we got with so many condos in $1 million range, and you looked at them and you go, man, that building $1 million condo, come on, that doesn't even have 9-foot ceilings or nice balconies or good floor plans. And for years I've been talking to you about, get the right floor plans because in the future you'll be competing with so much more. I mean, so many more units coming on the market. They come in the market maybe 15 to 20,000 units every year in the GTA. So after 5 years, say we added 100,000 units, you gotta make sure you have the best unit, because if you have the best unit, you'll get the best rent, you'll be able to sell it for most, you'll have the longest line for unit, and so on and so. But do you want to buy the $2,000 penthouse because it's the best unit? Well, here's the thing. Some people need to park their money. It's called store of value. What are they going to do with all this money? They're going to put it somewhere. So, I'm sitting on, let's say some buyers, like, they have access to money, they have access to funds. They're sitting on $2 million cash. They need to do something with it. They'll buy themselves two $1 million condos, and maybe one $2 million condo. Just put the money there. They buy it cash. They rent it. They obviously cover more than enough for the condo fees and mortgage. No mortgage, condo fees and taxes, because they buy most of these places. They buy cash anyways. People with buying $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $10 million units, they buy them cash. They need to put that money somewhere, and it's not working for them, and they need a solid return on investment. So they buy it cash. These people are long-term investors, okay? They look at the market and they go, okay, well, the average real estate market will give me 8% maybe, but now we're in a 10 or 12% trajectory. Where else can I get 10% on my $2 million? Well, looks like real estate is really good. Let me grab a $2 million condo, or maybe a house or a couple. And the reason they would invest in condos is because it's very low maintenance, it's safe, it's secure, almost impossible to break into, especially the penthouse, 24 security, all that stuff. So that's the thing. And the same logic really goes for the $1,000 condo. If you managed to get in Galleria Mall last weekend in the VIP sale, you did really, really well, because you're investing, average $965 a foot, $1,000 a foot, you invest in a condo. You can already see someone else selling, the same square footage a few blocks away for double the price. So what does that tell you? That tells you there's a lot of margin to come up. The market is expecting it to come up and to be more. But if you're a flipper, then you want to find lower prices. So that means if you're flipping, you want to find maybe something. Here's a good example. Okay, there's this little old garage here. Obviously, it'll turn into something, but just for sake of argument, you buy this old garage, and that's only $500 a foot. And then you renovate it, you spend $100 a foot, so your cost is $600 a foot now, and then you sell it for $1,000. You make yourself a nice margin. But that's possible. You can even do it with condos, with old homes. Although in the GTA, it's kind of complicated to do, because the prices are so high that the cost of renovation doesn't always add up to profit, but it's a lot of work up front. But nonetheless, if you buy the condo at $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a foot, you get brand new product, top of the line. You get to be the top penthouse on King West for $2,000 a foot. You can tell yourself, that's not that bad actually, because how many of those exist? And where can you go? You can go fashion house. One condo fashion house a couple years ago sold for $2.7 million for about 2,000 square feet, 2,200 square feet, with a nice large outdoor space terrace. I've been in the unit; it's very nice. But this condo now will probably sell for $3.5 million. Still not $2,000 a foot, but it may be not King West, it may be not so large, maybe the balcony is not. So you can see how a higher end building position itself, a higher end building, selling all the units for much higher prices. They're averaging $1,500, $1,600 a foot for the normal units. So to go to $2,000 a foot, maybe not that big of a jump. In your mind it can be, because if you're a bargain buyer, somebody is looking for cheap units, and that's totally fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but in your mind it could be crazy. But in the minds of others, they go, I don't want to deal with that low-end properties. I want to buy something once and keep it for 20 years, and that becomes part of the family trust, the family fund, the family portfolio, the business portfolio, and that's how you actually take money, put it in real estate, and then make money on the money. That's how it's done, okay? So should you buy a condo for $2,000 a foot? Well, first of all, depends on where you are in your financial journey in your life. The second, it depends if you think the market's going to go up from there. I think it will. Will it take you longer to go up on a $2,000 foot? Probably. But will it be worth it? Probably. Why? Because larger units, good units, don't buy the 2-bedroom on the second floor. Don't ever do that. Always buy the cheapest, smallest unit on the second floor. and the most expensive, best views, best everything unit on the top floor. Okay. So if you're buying a penthouse for $2,000 a foot, what would it take it for it to come to $3,000 a foot, which is 50% increase? And don't forget, when you make that 50% increase, if you buy a small unit, 600 square feet for $600,000, and you made 50% increase in a few years, you made $300,000. But if you bought a $2 million condo and you made 50% increase in the same time, you made $1 million. So you made 3.3, over 3 times as much. So that's what the big players do. That's how you do it. If you have, and I've put portfolios before for people with, they're buying 8 units at a time, 10 units at a time. I got $8 million to spend, I got $2 million to spend, I got $10 million to spend. Let's go build a real estate portfolio. And some of that portfolio, or all of it, could be in high-end, because some people say, I just want to deal with high-end because then I know that if I rent it out, my tenant has to be rich, they have to have a really amazing job, or a company pays for it, or maybe it's a sports star, and then the Blue Jays will pay for the bill, because that happens often. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So you have options, and you got to look at the entire market as opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. $400 a foot, $600 a foot in Toronto, outside of Toronto. These are new times, my friends. The old paradigm doesn't work anymore. It still does, but it's just you can do better. I find a lot of people are stuck. They're stuck because they been trying to psych themselves in and get into the market and make a good decision for themselves. But they don't take action, and by the time they do take action, it's too late. They go, I want to get in the Galleria Mall VIP, but then they don't do it, and then the units are sold, and then you can't hesitate. You got to be ready. When you're ready, you go. So those, if Galleria is selling 291 units, that's good, and those 209 units will go to those who are really ready to go. Okay? If you didn't get in, if you're really ready to go and you didn't get in the first round, just keep going. You'll get in the second round or the third round, because there's some rescissions. Something always happens, okay? You can always get that unit. But you just got to be consistent. Give me a call. Yossi, I want the unit, I want the unit, I want the unit, I want it. I'll get you the unit. Why? Because if you're so adamant about getting the unit and you really want that condo, you really want that investment, I'll make sure you get it. Because I work with investors. And if you're so, you don't know, I look at it and go, that guy's not that serious. Maybe he is, maybe he's not ready, maybe he's just getting himself ready or getting into the market. That's okay, cool. But when that first opportunity comes, I'm going to go to the person who says, get me the unit, I'm ready to go. The money's ready, the pre-approval is ready, everything. Those always get first priority, because, that's how it goes. So should you buy the $2,000 a foot condo? Look, tomorrow the price is going to be $2,000 a foot anyways, okay? And the 2,000 will be 3,000 and 4,000. That's unless something really major changes about all the finance of the entire world. That's what's happening. So something to think about. If you have some questions, give me a shout. If you want more information, give me a shout. And that's it for now. Yossi out.